First rounds with the Rost Martin RM1C. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is a special day, or at least this video is a special video for me. And there's two reasons for that. First, we actually have a sponsor. So this video is being sponsored by Liberty Guns and Gear. They are a gun shop located in Mayfield, Pennsylvania. It's actually owned and operated by one of my closest friends, Dave, aka Stumpy. And this whole video was his idea. He saw the guns release prior to me seeing it, said, hey, I want to pick one up. I want you to do a video on it and give me some feedback. Let me know if it's good or not. So this is why this pistol is here. The second deal is it's my first handgun review on the channel. So two reasons to be excited, at least on my end, for this review. Additionally, there is no exchange of money. The pistol is not being provided to me for free. It's only being lent to me so that I can do the review, and then it's going back. As soon as I'm done with this video, it's going back so that that can be put back in the inventory and then sold, and he can recoup his money. So no exchange, no nothing other than allowing me to borrow this for the review purpose. But here we are, and this is the Rost Martin RM1C. So let's get into the box here. Or first, let me show you the box. So it comes in this nice box packaging here, and it's all black, satin black, with a sheen strip across the middle. And you see RM on the left hand side, and then Rost Martin on the right hand side. Inside we have your pistol up top, and then you have two magazines. So it comes with two magazines. One is a flush fit 15 rounder. So I'll show you right here. So flush fit 15 rounder. And then you have your 17 rounder, which is basically the flush fit with an extended base plate. So let's pop this guy out here, and then I'll take this off and show you what comes on underneath. So you have your owner's manual, which is done really well. I'm not going to even try to show you because the exposure level is just going to wash everything out. We also have your typical lock, and then you have an optic plate and some additional screws that come in here with some tooling. And lastly, you have additional back straps, and we'll touch more on those two things later. So let's close this guy up, move it out of the way, and then we'll get into this. So, star of the show is the Rost Martin RM1C. If you don't know who Rost Martin is, they are a company based out of Dallas, Texas. They are a brand new company, and this is their first offering. This gun was actually released after the first of the year, so about a month ago. And I'm pretty excited at the fact that I'm getting to bring you a brand new product. It's a striker fired polymer pistol, so pretty generic in terms of what's on the market right now. And it is in 9mm. They're going to come in different offerings down the road, and they do come with different color options. So the frame itself you can get in black, stone gray, or FDE. All with black slides, and then, you know, further on down the road you may get a threaded barrel or something like that. Nothing has been actually hinted towards it, other than they are working on other stuff. So let's get right into this and start from the top and work our way down to the bottom. So up top here we have a set of sights, iron sights. They are metal sights, not plastic, and they are 3-dot type system, except you only have your dot on the front, and then it's a blacked out rear. I much prefer this because then there's less to contend with when you're looking down the sights and presenting this guy. You can see that that dot with ease. One of the nice things about the rear sight is that it's a U-notch, so that dot just drops right down into the U, and it's really intuitive. Both the front and the rear sight, on the rear face of it, it is serrated. I don't know if that's going to come across. but they are serrated for anti-glare purposes. And to wrap up the sights, there is aftermarket support for the sights. They are based on an XDM footprint. So if you're interested in this pistol and you want to eventually change the sights out to maybe a fiber optic sight or some night sights, you have the capability. All you have to do is look up sights for a Springfield XDM or an XD, and they will work with this pistol. Moving on, you have up top these slide serrations. They're anti-glare slide serrations. They are done really well, and they add an aesthetic appeal to the slide. However, I've never experienced a situation where slide serrations were needed. I never experienced a situation where I had to contend with glare off the top of the slide. So somebody may find that as an appeal in terms of functionality, but for me, it's just an aesthetic appeal, and I do like the way it looks on the gun. Moving back here, this is your optic cover plate. So if you take this cover off, you'll be happy to know that there's nothing in there that's actually going to fall out. The plate in the box is an RMR plate, so it's their MOS plate for an RMR footprint or an SRO footprint. Both will work on that. They do have additional plates that they offer online on their website. One plate will work with Doctor and Noblex optics. The other plate will work with Leopold Delta Point Pro. There may be more that come out in the future, but as of now, that's what I see online. Moving on with the indicator here, so you have a viewing port right there, so you can actually see down. If you have adequate lighting, you can see down and see that there's a round in the chamber. You also have a cocked indicator, so right now it's not in a cocked position, so you see nothing. You cock it, and now there you go. You have the red dot that is viewable, and you know that it's in a cocked position. This end plate is nice because it is serrated, so you don't have to worry about contending with any glare that may happen off the end plate, which is the more likely of scenarios. Continuing with serrations, you have front and rear serrations. So if you are a hand over slide kind of guy or girl that want to manipulate that way, you can. Serrations are done really nicely if you're like me and like to manipulate off the front for press checks or loading the chamber. You have that ability to do that up front. Slide serrations are done really nice. They're deep slide serrations, so they bite really well, but the edges they've been tamed, so you don't have to worry about it, breaking your skin or doing anything like that. So for anybody that may be concerned with that, you don't have to worry about that. These are done really, really well. The other thing that I like about the slide is how they beveled everything. So you see how that nice bevel on the front, around the edges, two nice bevels down the side on the edges, and then nice beveling on the rear of the slide. Make sure that there's no hard corners that you have to contend with. One in the front when putting your weapon back into the holster, sometimes having the hard edges can actually catch. That can be alleviated with practice, but that is something that can be an issue. The other issue is on the back side here, having these radius. You don't have to worry about it digging into you for any point if you're concealed carrying this thing. So, well thought out. The slide is tenerifer coated, so nitrocarburizing. Nitrocarburizing is a old method, but it's very, very proven, and everybody's pretty much using nitrocarburizing unless they're going with some type of ceramic coating. So, done really nicely. The barrel. The barrel is a hammer forged barrel, 4 inches long, with a nice crown on the end. So I don't know how well that's coming across, but if it's not coming across well, I'll take a picture of it, add it into the video so you can get a better look at it. It looks like almost like an 11-degree target crown, and they say that aids in accuracy, and I can tell you from shooting this thing is ridiculously accurate. I was extremely surprised by how accurate this is. But it is hammer forged barrel, so it's going to last a very long time. Your grandkids are probably not going to outshoot this barrel, or shoot out the barrel rather. It is a 1 in 10 twist, so that is really good for the 9mm. Moving on rearward to the grip, you have a polymer grip. You have these slide, catch, and release on both sides, so it is ambi in that regard. It also is ambi in the magazine release too. So you have a button on this side and a button on this side. It's not like some of these other guns where you have to swap or flip the magazine release. It's all ambi, so it's truly ambi. So for those that are lefties, you don't have to contend with any of that. One of the nice things is that the slide release does work well on the left-hand side. I've used some guns like the original MP where you try to manipulate it on the left-hand side, and all it does is torque the plate so it won't release. This one works perfectly, and so does the mag release. And you know, I'll roll in B-roll showing all of this stuff. It does have really nice texturing. They refer to it as their responsive grip texturing. It's almost like an MP 2.0, but subdued. I think it's done really nice. So you have it on both sides of the pistol, left and right, and then also on the front and the rear straps. So it's not going to be too aggressive where some people might find it uncomfortable, or carrying it, it'll rub yourself raw on your sides or start to tear your shirt up because it's catching on it. This is done really well. It's kind of like a 220 sandpaper, so really, really well done. You have a Picatinny rail up front, so it's 3-slot. It's not like the Glock with their proprietary system. This is just a Picatinny rail. And then you have a really nice enlarged trigger guard, which I like. And more importantly, I like it because right here in this section, it actually sweeps in and thins out. And it's also radiused. And the cutout is actually deepened. So when you're shooting, you don't have to worry about it agitating your knuckle like you do with some Glocks. The most famous thing, or infamous thing rather, about Glocks is getting Glock knuckle, and it starts to dig into your knuckle right here. Very pleasant to shoot, really nice, and the way they contoured everything was done perfectly in my opinion. The trigger is pretty nice, so it's Glock-esque in terms of functionality and the way it feels, except a lot better. Now there's a little bit of grittiness pull in here, and a little bit of grittiness, staginess, but you hit a nice defined wall, so there's not a whole lot of take up. Nice defined wall, and then a nice clean break, nice audible and tactile break, and then your reset is very short, and then you're back on it. So this is actually a really good trigger. They claim it to be around 5 pounds. On my trigger scale, was closer to 6 pounds. That can lighten up with a nice polish job on the trigger components and just shooting it over time. So I see no reason to try to find an aftermarket trigger for it. Now, being said that, having spoken to Stephanie from Rost Martin, I believe she is one of the owners of Rost Martin. She was very responsive in the emails and very nice. She stated that this trigger is their design, so there's no aftermarket support at the moment that I know of, but that is their design, so there's no other triggers that are compatible with this. Again, at the moment, that may come later on down the road, depending on how popular this becomes. And I think it will, because what it offers at the price point makes it a really hard option to turn away from. But it is a really good trigger, and I see no reason to actually change it. Right here, you have a nice deep beaver tail, kind of like a CZ or like a Walther is, even the way it swoops down here. So that it sits deep in your hand, and it allows for you to mitigate that muzzle rise pretty easily. It's very, very nice to shoot. The recoil impulse on this is really nice. It's not like Glocks or some of the smaller subcompacts where they're real snappy. This was actually really pleasant to shoot, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't have any issues or anything to complain about in terms of how it manipulates and the felt recoil. Back here you have your back strap, so it comes with a medium on there. You do have a small and a large in the pack, and it's set in place with this roll pin. So you just push the roll pin out, similar to a Springfield Armory. You pop the new one in, or the one that you prefer, and just replace that or reinsert that roll pin. And lastly, on the slide, you have a nice, really nice flared magwell, so it makes manipulation of the mags really easy. So, and as you can see, these things eject nice. So manipulating the mag is really well, dropping free, and again inserting with these nice flared magwell is really nice. I wish more guns did this nice of a job with their magwell. So let's continue on. Let's see if I missed anything. Did I miss anything? Nope, nothing that I could think of. Again, inspired by the AREX Delta. They did get some help with the design of this from AREX, and it's not a Gen 3 clone or a Glock 19 Gen 3 clone. So if you're not one of those Glock people, this is going to fit that role for you. Holster compatibility. It's not compatible with any of the other holsters on the market. However, they do have companies making holsters for it, and I believe companies already have them in stock. So some of the companies that Stephanie had told me was A&R Designs, Black Point Tactical, Crossbreed Holsters, DeSantis, Galco, and We the People as of right now. I believe there's going to be more coming on board at some point, depending on how popular the gun becomes. But those are companies that they're working with. And I believe A&R Designs even put out a video on this gun already. So I'm assuming they already have a holster. I did not watch the video, so I apologize. Overall, how did it work? It worked like a striker-fired pistol. I did have some stoppages, and I'll explain. One of the stoppages I think I may have induced, and I believe it was on the second round. I'm not entirely sure how it happened, but as you can see in the picture, it kind of gouged the round. My guess is that it got caught up on one of the feeding lips, and that's why it bit into it the way that it did. That was on the second mag, I believe the second round. I was shooting PMC bronze, never had a problem with PMC bronze after that, so that was a one-off. This is one of those situations where I don't know what caused it, and I tried to replicate it. I tried to get it to do again, and I could not get the gun to malfunction at all after that, until I got to Winchester. Now, I don't have the box down here, but it's the Winchester brown box. It's their military grade stuff with the flat nose. It hated that ammo. Right about there. Every 3 to 4 rounds, I had a failure to feed. That being said, I've had tons of issues with that particular ammo in the past with other guns, and including the Winchester white box, where I have a lot of failure to fires, or it may be a stovepipe or something. So I do not like Winchester ammunition. I do not recommend Winchester ammunition because of all the problems that not only I have had, but I have seen other people have at classes. So I'm going to chalk that up to it being manufacturer related or ammo related in that regard. But the Federal that I ran through it and the PMC bronze that I ran through it, it was damn near flawless except for that one instance with the PMC bronze. And no matter what I did, I couldn't get it to malfunction again. Even trying to limp wrist it, and it malfunctioned the way that I thought it would. So overall, it shot very well. It is very accurate. I shot a couple of accuracy tests on it, and this is what I got. So right there, sorry, that is a less than 1 inch group at 10 yards. I did pull my third shot, and I knew it because I kind of flinched when I took the shot. And as you can see, it's definitely a pull because it's about 3 inches low, but in line with the group. This is what I saw with a lot of my shooting. I did shoot it with and without an optic. The optic that I had on there was a Zulisi Owl, I believe it was. I borrowed it from my sister-in-law's boyfriend, so shout out to Jeff for letting me borrow that. The issue I was having with it is it kept coming loose, and it was due to the screws that came with the optic. The screws that came with this wasn't compatible with that particular optic, and in one scenario it actually flew off the gun. So I was having issues with my initial accuracy test because it kept loosening up and the groups would spread open. I shot that group with iron sights at 10 yards, and I'll roll in B-roll so you can see. It is a very, very accurate gun. For the price, man, I am pleasantly surprised. I will admit that, again, I thought it was just another Glock clone, so I had my reservations about it going into it, and I had I think 3 range trips that I got to spend time on this. I ran about 460 rounds through this gun, mag dumps the whole 9 yards, and I actually have grown to really like it. So much so that if I had the money to buy it, if I was in a better position financially, I would actually buy this gun, get an optic for it, a holster, and I would conceal carry this with no problem. Unfortunately, I'm not in that position, so this may have to wait. And this is coming from somebody who's a huge M&P fan. I've been running M&Ps for a long time, primarily the 2.0s. This gun is very nice. It's very comfortable. The recoil impulse is nice, so it's not beating you up like some other guns may do when with them having more recoil. It's got a real low bore axis. The sights are adequate. It's just a well thought out gun. In terms of whether I would recommend this or not, it is a new gun. There's a possibility that it could have teething issues going on down the road. I highly doubt it considering the design inspiration, but I really, really like this pistol. I really do like this, and I will probably pick one up in the future because I think it's a well thought out pistol. It's well balanced. It has a really good trigger, good stippling. You know, you have the ability to run a flush fit 15 or 17 rounder, and to touch on these mags, CZ-P10, P09, and the P07 mags are all compatible with this. And this is one thing I should have showed you when I covered the mags, and I completely forgot. But I'll do this right now. This is a P07 mag. I borrowed this. Thanks again, Stumpy, for letting me borrow this. But he just got a P07 in the shop. I grab this, locks in, and it functions. It's basically the same body, except this one has a different butt plate. So if you have CZ mags, CZ-P10, CZ-P07, P09, especially the newer ones, they are compatible and they will work. But so you have a nice little bit of compatibility there in terms of you know, being able to use it and it function correctly. Obviously, you're going to have a little bit of a different design at the bottom for the plate, so you'll have some overhang and some gap, but that's an aesthetic thing and not a functionality thing. Overall, I really do like this pistol. Again, I may try to get one in the future. Financially dependent, obviously. And I do think that this is going to fill the role for a lot of people who want that Glock 19-esque pistol, but they're looking for something different, something that's going to it's going to meet their price point. And I think this guy's going to do a really good job there. As far as the price point goes, MSRP is $459.99. You could find them for around $420, $430. And they are out there. So I think with the popularity and the more that they sell, that price may drop a little bit. But for the price point, I think it's a really good pistol. And I've shot a ton of different pistols. I really like this pistol. I think it's a good pistol. And if you're interested, I think you should really check it out. So I know I'm speaking highly of this pistol, and that's because I really didn't think it was going to be anything special. And while it isn't in the grand scheme of things, for what it is and the price point and how well it shoots and how accurate it was, it's one of the most accurate pistols that wasn't like competition that I shot. So anyway, with that being said, I've ranted long enough. Guys, if you like this content, please give me a like, comment at the very least. I do like engaging with you guys down in the comment section. I do like talking back and forth with you guys and sharing knowledge and debating certain aspects. So that's always nice. And if you're in the area and you're interested in this gun, it will be for sale at Liberty Guns and Gear in Mayfield, Pennsylvania. So go check them out. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video.